What if tracing across with salt before emails changed your day? It's the kind of morning that tightens your shoulders before you even sit down. The inbox badge climbed while you brushed your teeth. The kettle clicks off. Your thumb hovers over the mail app like a diver on a cold ledge. But there's a small white dish by your keyboard, a pinch of salt like a tiny snowfall. You press your fingertip into the grains and trace across down, then across simple, steady, almost invisible. You whisper, "Season my words," and breathe in for 4, out for 6, twice, 3 times, 8 times. The phone stays on Do Not Disturb. The room doesn't change, the deadlines don't move, but a guard takes his post at the door of your words. Now you open the first email, the one that usually spikes your heart rate, and you answer differently clear where you once hedged. Kind where you once bristled, brief where you once spiraled. What if 2 quiet minutes like this, practiced before your inbox for 30 days, could shift the weather inside you and the way you show up for every conversation that follows? Scripture keeps returning to salt, not as decoration but as essence. Paul writes in Colossians 4-6 that our speech should be gracious, seasoned with salt, so we'll know how to answer each person. It's a picture of words that preserve and clarify instead of spoiling the moment. Jesus says in Matthew 5:13, "You are the salt of the earth," calling us to be steady and transformative in small, faithful amounts. The Bible also hints at timing when to turn your face toward God before you face the world. Daniel 6:10 shows fixed windows of prayer that held steady even when lions paced outside the habit. Mark 1:35 pictures Jesus slipping out while it was still dark to pray before saying yes to the crowds. Blend these threads and you get a pattern made for modern life, a small, physical sign that you belong to God, a fixed moment before digital voices arrive, and a single sentence prayer to season your speech. The salt is not magic, it's memory. The cross is not a show. It's a signpost to the one who governs your tongue. The moment is tiny because grace is strong enough to work through pinches and breaths. Here is the challenge, simple and concrete. For 30 days on work days before opening email or messaging apps, set a small pinch of salt on a dish by your keyboard. Aim for 10 minutes before your start time. If you begin at 9 a.m., make your moment 8:50. If your schedule floats, pick the first 2 minutes after you sit down. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Touch the salt, trace a small cross down, across no flourish, just a sign between you and God. Pray one sentence drawn from Colossians 4-6 in your own words. Lord, season my words with grace and truth today. Breathe slowly for 2 minutes, 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out, 8 cycles. When you finish, open your inbox. For your first 3 replies, hold to 3 rails. Clarity over cleverness, kindness over defensiveness, brevity over rambling. Keep a notebook to write 1 line about the tone you chose and why. When those 3 are sent, wipe the dish or rinse the salt to close the moment. Real life will test this. You'll run late and see, in your boss's chat bubbles, a child can't find shoes, a pet insists on the leash, a delivery rings at the worst time. Some mornings you'll have peeked at notifications in bed and feel the adrenaline hum. That's why the ritual is portable. If you're rushing, do a 30-second mini-write. Touch salt. Trace the cross once, whisper, "Season my words." Take 1 deep 4 in, 6 out breath, then open the inbox. If you're in public, carry a tiny travel vial in your bag or trace the cross mentally on your thigh under the table. The gesture is symbolic. The meaning remains. If a coworker walks in mid-practice, simply take your last breath and move on. If you've already read a stressful email, pause anyway, put your finger in the salt. Breathe once and re-enter with intention. Spilled salt? Wipe it with a smile. This is kitchen simple, not fragile. Make it easy to succeed. The night before, set out the dish, a tiny salt container, and your notebook. Write your 1-sentence prayer on a sticky note so you don't have to hunt for words. Give me answers that fit each person. Or let truth and gentleness hold together. In the morning, plant your feet, soften your shoulders, switch on a small lamp you use only for this practice so your body recognizes the cue. Place just a few grains on the dish, trace the cross, whisper the sentence, breathe 8 cycles. As you breathe, imagine the cross as a small guard posted at your mouth's door, a watchman for your words. Now open the inbox. For the first 3 replies, practice a simple pattern. State the fact, name the next step, add a human line. We're 2 days behind due to X today, I'll deliver Y by 2 p.m. Thank you for your patience, I know delays are hard. No sarcasm, no performative busyness, no hidden barbs. After those 3, jot 1 line in the notebook. Chose clarity over cleverness. Named a boundary without edge. Turned blame into next step. If you miss a day, don't scold yourself. Note it, and to honor the integrity of a vow, add 2 days to the end of your count and resume tomorrow. If you miss several in a row, restart at day 1. This is not about perfect streaks, but about building a pattern sturdy enough to hold you when moods don't tie. Tie the practice to a pleasant cue pour coffee only after the cross. Or play the same gentle instrumental track during the 2 minutes, so your senses help you arrive. Keep your tools humble and tidy. The pinch is small, the gesture discreet, the aim focused. To place God at the threshold of your speech. What will change? Not the existence of hard emails, but your posture toward them. Expect fewer defensive rewrites, fewer sorry for my tone follow-ups, a faster de-escalation when threads heat up. Expect to spend less energy crafting cleverness and more energy building clarity. You may notice you state boundaries earlier without barbs. I can do Thursday, not today. And that you acknowledge disappointments without dramatics. I know this matters. Here's what I can do next. Track small, tangible things. Time to send on the first 3 messages, number of drafts for a tricky email, a 1 to 5 mood check at lunch, which phrases help you land both kind and clear. You might find trust rising with teammates or family because your words signal steadiness. You might feel less hijacked by other people's urgency at 9:03 a.m. None of this is flashy, but salt rarely is. It simply keeps good things from rotting and makes plain things more true. Anchor the heart of this in Scripture's imagery. Psalm 141:3 prays. Set a guard over my mouth. Keep watch over the door of my lips. The tiny cross traced in salt is a picture of that guard, quiet, faithful, stationed before you speak. Imagine your inbox as a city gate where news and requests pass. Before you trade in that marketplace, you set a watchman there. Daniel opened his windows toward God at set hours because habits hold a person when pressure rises. In our small way, we open a 2-minute window before we open our screens, believing the same. Jesus went out to pray before dawn not as ascetic performance, but because first things deserve first moments. We return a first moment to God so our replies aren't ruled by the loudest need but guided by the deepest. Name. Table salt in Scripture often meant covenant and fellowship. Keyboard salt carries the same intent. You are seasoning not just your day but your character, so that the flavor of Christ's gentleness and truth shows up in subject lines and sign-offs, in questions and refusals, in apologies and corrections. Some will worry that this borders on superstition. Let's be explicit, the power is not in the salt. The power is in Jesus Christ and in the Spirit's work through your willing attention. The salt simply helps your body remember your intention. It's a humble, biblical symbol aligned with Christian tradition. Others will ask about safety or appropriateness. Keep the pinch tiny and on a dish, never on electronics. Wipe the dish weekly. If you work in a shared space, let the dish double as a paperclip holder. The gesture can be entirely private. About fasting or abstention, some like to add a gentle practice once per week during the 30 days, skipping one meal or a favorite treat or delaying social media until noon to create a little more listening room. This is optional and always shaped by common sense. Water is always permitted and encouraged. If you consider a longer abstention, such as a 3-day food fast with abundant water, do so only if you're healthy and experienced. Anyone with medical conditions should refrain or consult a professional. Constancy outperforms intensity. 2 quiet minutes each morning will shape you more than a dramatic flourish you can't sustain. When the 30 days end, don't pack the dish away like holiday decorations. Keep it as a small monument of mercy. Shift into a maintenance rhythm 3 mornings a week or the first 2 minutes before meetings known to overheat. Broaden the practice to messaging and group chats. A 1-minute version with family before a touchy conversation. A shared bowl with a few grains. One person traces the cross once, someone whispers. Season our words, then you begin. On the first workday of each month, spend 5 minutes reviewing your notebook. Notice patterns. Topics that trigger sharpness, times of day your tone phrase, phrases that help you hold both truth and tenderness. Adjust your 3 replay railings as needed. Teach a teammate who asks why your emails feel different. Don't promote your ritual. Simply share the fruit, clarity, kindness, brevity, and let them borrow the practice if they wish. Let this be how you re-enter your calling as salt and light in your particular hallway of screens and rooms. Return to the opening image. The kettle, the blinking cursor, the number in the corner that used to boss you around. Your finger dips into a few bright grains and draws that tiny cross down and across like setting a quiet guard at the door. You breathe your 8 slow cycles. You open the inbox, and though the day remains itself, you are not the same responder you were. You are a person under a sign, held by a small habit that keeps you present, truthful, and kind. If you're ready to try, set the dish by your keyboard tonight and set a reminder for 10 minutes before tomorrow's start time. Stand your guard at the gate and step into your day as someone whose words are seasoned, not scattered. Type SALT to start your 30 days.